Okay, hi everybody. Did that wake you up? It got really loud all of a sudden. Thank you for coming to my presentation. You probably already know this, but I am from the University of Guelph. So has anyone in here been to the city of Guelph? No? It's not too far from here. It's about a 30 to 45 minute drive north. It's just a straight drive on Highway 6, so it's quite accessible. And what grades is everybody in here? Is it grade 10s, grade 11s? Who's in grade 11? Nobody. Who's in grade 12? Everybody. Okay, so you're all making that decision on what school to choose to go to. That's very exciting. I myself am a graduate of the University of Guelph. I was born and raised in Ontario, Canada, so right here. But I live about 2.5 hours east of the University of Guelph, so around 3 hours from here. You already know why you should study in Canada. You're already here doing it. But Canada is a great country. A benefit of attending a university in Canada is that all of our degrees are internationally recognized. Part of that is because our government puts more money into education than any other G8 country in the world. A couple points of pride specifically about the University of Guelph is that we're one of Canada's top comprehensive universities. So what I mean by that is we're not only recognized for our academic quality, but also for the social life. We have our students very involved in the classroom as well as outside of the classroom to make sure you're getting a holistic university experience. We are also a research-intensive school. We get around $146 million per year for research, and we do funnel 80 million of that directly into our largest program, which is the Bachelor of Science. We also like to help you out financially. So is anyone in here a Canadian citizen at this point? No. Working on it maybe. But we do help you out with international scholarships for your citizenship. Last year we gave out $23 million in scholarships to our students. So we'll talk about your scholarships a little bit later. We also have one of the highest percentages of female STEM students in the country. Our engineering program was rated first female friendly in Canada, so there is a very strong female presence on campus. We also have a 90% employment rate upon graduation, regardless of the program that you're in, and it is into a career that's in your field of work. We also have over 90% of our students continue on with us from first year into second, so the retention rate is very high. You already know where we are. You can see Hamilton on this map. So as you can see, we are a little bit northwest of Hamilton, but still in Ontario, Canada. You'll still have the same weather. Everybody still speaks English. You'll feel comfortable. A couple of points about Guelph itself is that it's rated in the top 10 places to live in Canada, and it's also one of the safest. The total population of the city is around 133,000 people. And our school is 24,000 of that, so it's extremely student-centered. It's also referred to as the City of Music, as there are several music festivals that happen every year in Guelph. And when you come to the university, your student card will be your bus pass to take the City of Guelph Transit anywhere in the area. Also, if anyone has questions at any point, feel free to put up your hand. So as I mentioned, our school has almost 24,000 students total. That does include undergraduate, master's, and PhD. So we have around 18,000 undergrads specifically. Within that, we have 1,300 international students from over 100 different countries. So it's quite a diverse environment for you. You'll see a couple other fun facts on there, like our Snapchat filters, 6 of them. We have the griffin is our mascot, so it's a mix between a lion and a hawk. It is a mythological creature, but you'll see him all around campus. And a couple things, even though you're already in Ontario, we still include you in our international welcoming packages. So the first one is Start Online. If you choose to come to the University of Guelph, you'll be connected with other international students who are also choosing to come to our university. They may be students who are also already in Ontario, or they may be students from other places in the world for you to just get to know each other. One of the first things that we do is called Start International, so it's that second bullet up there. Start International is where we welcome all of our international students a week early, and we take you around the area. So we'll go to Niagara Falls, we'll go to the city of Toronto, and we'll go to the CN Tower with you. It's lots of events and free food for you to get to know each other and just get comfortable. Another option for you is called the Link program, where you can be connected with a Canadian domestic student and they become your first-hand person, kind of your buddy for anything that you might need on campus. We also have 2 full-time immigration officers available for you and your family. If you or your family experiences issues with your visa at any time or just needs some guidance, they're available to you for free from Monday to Friday. We offer quite a range of programs and majors, so we have 86 majors in 12 different degree program areas. Now, 80% of our students are enrolled in 4 of these programs, so I'll talk about those more specifically, but if anybody has questions at any point about the other ones, we can definitely address that. So if you do have a book from me, if you don't have a book, put up your hand and I'll give you one. So if you want to turn to page 22 and 23, you'll see all of our programs and our majors listed. The first one that we'll be talking about is our Bachelor of Science that I mentioned is the largest program that we have at the University of Guelph. There are quite a range of majors available to you within this, and some of them you may have never even heard of before. So with that in mind, we give you a general first year. You do still have to pick a major, but you'll have electives where you can test out some of the other areas, and if you like it more, then it is possible for you to switch majors. Now in that chart, you'll see that it's slightly divided. So the upper area of the Bachelor of Science, you'll see biological focused majors. It's animals, plants, and humans. Whereas the lower portion of it, so it's on page 23, I believe, at the top. The lower section of that is chemical or physics focused majors. So I just want you to take note that in this chart, it's the degree program in the first column, the majors are listed in the second, and then in the third column are the requirements that we need from you from grade 12, so from this year. The biggest difference between the biological and the physical sciences is that for physics or chem-related things, we do need you to have calculus, whereas anything biological focused, we just need advanced math. Any questions about that? No? Perfect. So anyone who's interested in potentially pursuing medical school, we do have 2 very popular majors focused on that area. So that would be our biomedical science major and our human kinetics. The reason that they're so competitive and popular is that we have a human anatomy lab on campus. So starting in your second year, you would dissect bodies that have been donated by the community of Guelph, and they're all for research purposes. So when you're thinking of applying to med school, it does give you that edge on your application. We do also have a variety of animal-related majors. We are the #1 vet college in Canada, and we're also #7 in the world. So if anyone's thinking of doing an animal-focused major, this is a great option for you. As you can see as well in your chart and on my screen here, you'll see asterisks on some of the majors, the little stars. So if the major has an asterisk beside it, it means it's available with cooperative education. Is anyone familiar with that term? Yeah, most of you? Okay, perfect. So you can keep that in mind when you're looking at your different options. The second largest program that we have is the Bachelor of Arts. This is the most flexible program that we have on campus, so you'll have a very high number of electives, making it easy to take minors or double minors in other areas of focus. I myself graduated from the Bachelor of Arts, so I was an international development major. Within that, I focused on agriculture, I minored in economics, took French and Spanish, and I spent a semester in India, and I still graduated on time. So that's what I mean by the kind of flexibility that it offers. You can also see in your chart for the Bachelor of Arts, the only requirement from high school is English, which you will do at the end of your 4 years. Our third largest program is our Bachelor of Commerce, which is our business program. This is similar to science in that it's a general first year. So you do still pick a major, like marketing, for example, but you'll take economics, finance, and accounting in your first year. We do that so if you ever want to start your own business, you have that solid understanding, and then in your second year is where it gets more focused. Second year is also when co-op starts at our school. We recently renovated one of our residence buildings into a business hub. So we have the Business Career Development Center within that. It's entrepreneurs from the area who have started their own businesses and become successful, and they can help you start your own business from the ground up. And our fourth largest is our Bachelor of Engineering. So in both business and in engineering, you may have noted that every single major has an asterisk. So all of them are available with cooperative education. Now, engineering is not a general first year. It's very specific right away. So the reason for that is we do 6 major design projects with you. You'll start your first project your first week of class, so it's hands-on immediately. As an example, mechanical engineers last year, their first project was to design some sort of device that could propel itself 40 meters and fit inside of an egg. You're doing that within your first couple of days of class, so we want you to be focused. We also have the co-op option. If you choose to do co-op with engineering, it does extend your degree from 4 years into 5, just so that you're aware. And our 5th largest program is our Bachelor of Computing. These 2 majors are very similar. They only have 5 classes that are different from each other. So the biggest thing is that software engineering has more of a customer service focus. So if you do want to deal more so with people and the people who are investing in the product that you're creating, then that's a better option for you. Computer science is all behind the scenes. Within this program, we do require you to do an area of application, which is kind of like a built-in minor. You have to pick another area of interest in a different subject and use some of your apps to focus on that. So as an example, one of the people in this program decided to do agriculture as their focus. They created an app called Farm to Fork, where you go into a grocery store and whatever product or produce you pick up, you scan its barcode and it'll tell you the name of the farmer and the location of the farm that it came from. Another one, a student decided to focus on immigration actually, and created an app that helps people who are new immigrants to Canada to figure out which city is best suited for them and their families and the job that they're looking for. Some other degree programs that we have that you will see in the book. The first one is Bachelor of Applied Science. So within that we have Child, Youth and Family, where you can work in daycares and in preschools. We also have Applied Human Nutrition. So that's one of the only programs in Ontario that can lead you to becoming a registered dietitian. We also have Bachelor of Arts and Sciences, which is quite unique to our school. You don't pick a major. You have 2 different minors, one in the arts and one in the sciences, and then you build your own degree based on the connections between those 2 minors. So as an example, my friend did biology and psychology as his 2 minors, and then he spent a summer in Tanzania, hiked up Mount Kilimanjaro, and came back to campus and designed his own course to gain credit for that hike. He looked at the biological effects of hiking with a change in altitude and how it affected his breathing, and then also the psychological component with mind over matter. The Bachelor of Bioresource Management is a combination between business and science, and we also have the Bachelor of Landscape Architecture. This is not your classic architecture program. You're not designing buildings. In this one, you're designing outdoor spaces. So amusement parks, city parks, golf courses. It's the only accredited program of its kind in North America, and students have a 100% employment rate upon graduation. We also have our Bachelor of Science in Agriculture. We originated as an agricultural college, and we still maintain our #1 spot in Canada for anything agricultural related. As of now, every graduate from this program at our school has 6 jobs available to them upon graduation. We also have our Bachelor of Science in Environmental Sciences, which we are #5 for in Canada. Within that, you can focus on resource management, creation of laws to protect the environment, or just a general environmental science degree. As I mentioned, the Doctor of Veterinary Medicine program we're #1 in Canada for, but it is a postgraduate degree, so you have to complete a minimum of 2 years of a science undergrad, and then you can apply to start going into vet college. As I mentioned, you can take minors. It's the easiest in the Bachelor of Arts, but you can take a minor regardless of the program that you're in. It doesn't cost anything extra. So for those of you who are maybe torn between 2 different subject areas, this is a really great option for you. All that happens is we take your elective courses and we focus them in one of these other areas. So then when you graduate, you have a major in science, for example, and then you'll also have a credential that's a minor in another area. Most of you seem to be quite familiar with cooperative education. As you've seen, a lot of our majors do offer cooperative education. So we're the third largest co-op in Ontario. We have 3,400 students that participate in it every year. And you'll do a minimum of 3 semesters working full-time, maximum of 5. And you can do that co-op anywhere that you want in Canada. What's great about our school is that we don't just put you into a job, you're involved in the entire process. So in first year, we do a course with you called Co-op 1100. We teach you how to properly write a resume, a cover letter, and we do mock interviews with you. And then when you're going into your second year, you sit down with a designated faculty member. You go through a list of thousands of jobs that we have available to you across Canada, and you choose which ones you want to apply to. What's nice about that as well is for each of those semesters, you don't have to go back to the same place to do work. So if you don't like where you worked the one semester, that's fine, or you just want to try something different, you can pick something completely different for the next time around, and you could do that for each of those 5 semesters. These are fully paid positions, and with our institution, the maximum that you can typically make is around $10,000 per semester. We do also offer graduate programs, masters and PhDs. So if you are interested in continuing your education after a bachelor's, we do have those options for you, but we won't get into detail about that right now because that's just stressful. So there's a couple different ways that you can apply. Because you are attending an Ontario high school, it's easiest for you to use number 2 there, which is Ontario University Application Centre. You would be a 105F applicant because you don't have Canadian citizenship, but it's quite easy, so you can apply to multiple schools in Ontario using this system. Our application deadline is February 15th. Just to keep that in mind, if you want to be considered for early admission, then you do need to apply by January. If you have not been studying in an English medium school for 4 years or more, or if English is not your first language, we do require English proficiency tests. So you have quite a few different options with that. The most common tends to be IELTS. We need you to have a 6.5 with no band less than 6. And the other option that is very popular is the TOEFL, but with the TOEFL we do need an 89. Anyone have questions about that? Was it clear when we require English proficiency? Yeah? Okay. So if you've been in Canada or if you've been at an English medium school for more than 4 years, you don't have to do English proficiency, even if English isn't your first language. Yeah? It'll have to be 4 years by the time you apply. So if you apply by our deadline, let's say January 30th is the day you decide, it would have to be that you've been at an English medium school for 4 full years by January 30th. Yeah. So for financing your education, the tuition up there is quite a range. The lower end of that is for our Bachelor of Arts or our Bachelor of Science students. Then on the higher end of that is if you choose to go into engineering. So if you're in the book still, you can just turn it a couple of pages. I believe it should be on page 25 or 26, but you will see a chart. Did I say the right page? 28, I apologize. 28 is the page. So it's this same chart that you're seeing on the PowerPoint, but the reason I wanted you to go to the page is if you're not interested in arts, science, or engineering, right beneath that chart, it has the breakdown of the individual programs. So you'll see that Bachelor of Commerce is down there, Bachelor of Landscape Architecture, just to give you a more specific idea of what the cost is. That is just for tuition. So residence and meal plans and things are on top of that. But we do offer scholarships. So on the right-hand side of the screen, the first one is merit-based. It's going to be solely based on your academics in high school. For you to receive the maximum scholarship on that end, we do expect around at least a 90% average. But they are guaranteed scholarships. So as soon as you apply to us, you're considered for this, and the next time you see it would be on your letter of offer, just saying, welcome to the University of Guelph. You got an offer to Bachelor of Commerce, for example, and a scholarship of $6,000. And then it'll just come directly off of your tuition. The second one is a needs-based scholarship. This one does require an application where you tell us why you need extra financial assistance, and you could get an additional $5,000 on top of the other scholarship listed there. We do also include health insurance for you. So when you pay the $600 for the year in health insurance, that includes chiropractor, physiotherapy, doctor's appointments, any medication that you might need, and we do have all of those facilities on campus. So now we're going to switch gears a little bit, focus less on the academics and more on the fun stuff that you can participate in at the University of Guelph. So if any of you are interested in playing competitive sports, we do have our varsity teams just listed in the center there. If you wanted to join a team, you do have to contact the coach online, let them know your experience, the position you play, and they can offer you a spot on the team, and they can also offer you scholarships. If you like playing sports but you don't want to do that competitively, we also have intramurals listed right underneath that. Those are just for fun, they're once a week, you make a team with your friends, and they're included in your tuition. Aside from athletics, we do have over 200 clubs on campus, including things like Harry Potter clubs, we have a Quidditch team, we have rock climbing, dragon boat racing. They're pretty much anything you could ever imagine, because our policy at the University of Guelph is that if there isn't a club that interests you, as long as you have one other friend who wants to be on your club with you, you can make your own club on campus. You can also go to other countries during your study at the University of Guelph, so this is also open for any program that you choose to go into. We have agreements with over 100 different universities in more than 34 different countries, spanning Asia, Middle East, Europe, Africa, so you have a lot of options. It also is the easiest to do in a Bachelor of Arts program. With this, you would go on your own, so it's an exchange program. Typically, multiple students will go to the same place each semester, so you might not be completely by yourself. Typically, the groups are like 4 to 5 people. You pay University of Guelph tuition still, and then you pay the cost of living in whatever country that you choose to go to. So for myself, I paid University of Guelph tuition, but then when I went to India, everything was a lot more affordable, so I ended up saving money spending a semester there. My friend, however, decided to go to England for her semester, and she spent a lot more money than she would have being in Canada. We do have guaranteed residence for all first-year students, so this here is just an aerial view of our campus. It looks quite large in the photo, but it's around a 10-minute walk from end to end. We tried to make everything very centralized. The residence options that you have to choose from, they're all listed in your book, but you can choose from a single, double, triple, quad, apartment, or townhouse. We do also have academic communities, which you'll see listed here. So those will be separated by the program that you're in. They do tend to be very popular with our science and our engineering students. So you would live with all other students in the same program as you, and you would have a 4th-year cluster leader who can help you with any of your first-year classes that you may be having issues with. We do also have themed learning communities, so within that there is an international house, there is an arts house. If anyone in here speaks French, there's La Maison Française, so you can choose to live in one of those as well. If you have a friend who's coming to the University of Guelph, you can write each other's names on your residence application and you're guaranteed to be roommates. Another thing very important to us at the University of Guelph is food. We have been rated #1 for campus food in Canada for 15 years. So we accommodate all dietary restrictions. We have vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, dairy-free, halal. And if we don't have something that you're craving on campus, you can always put in a request, and it's guaranteed that within 2 weeks you'll be able to find it somewhere on campus. We have 21 different dining facilities on our campus, and we also have agreements with 30 restaurants off campus where you can use your student card to pay. We do also have an agreement with a taxi company where you can pay with your student card. Our dining facilities are open every day of the week from 7 a.m. until midnight, and some of them are located inside of your residence building, so you don't even need to leave the residence to go eat. One school I do want to mention is our partner institution. So it's the University of Guelph Humber. This is a separate university and it's located in the north end of Toronto in Etobicoke. It has around 5,000 students, and they offer 7 very unique programs. So it's on the last page of your book if anyone is interested in flipping to that, so that you can see what those 7 programs are. They have a lot of experiential learning focused in those, so each of those programs you'll do around 120 work hours in the duration of the 4 years, but those are unpaid hours. When you graduate from the University of Guelph-Humber, you'll gain both an honors degree from the University of Guelph, but you'll also get a diploma from Humber College. So in those 4 years, you're gaining 2 credentials rather than 1. A couple things for you to just be aware of would be the website Citizenship and Immigration Canada, which I'm sure you're already familiar with. But that's where you can find information on how the visa works for studying in Canada. So in addition to the permit that you may potentially be on right now, the way that it would work for the visa for university is that you would be granted the 4 or 5 years of study and then another 3 years to stay in Canada and work full-time. During the 4 years of study, you can do co-op, so that would already be on your letter, so that would be considered when you apply for your visa. But aside from that, if you're not doing cooperative education, you can work part-time up to 20 hours per week on or off campus, and we do have over 4,000 jobs available on campus for you. There's also Scholarships Canada. So these are mostly for Canadian citizens, the scholarships on there, but there are some for international students. So you might have to do a little bit of digging, but you can always add those scholarships on top of the ones that I already mentioned in the presentation. And this is just the last slide of mine. So these are some of our social media handles. I always put this up here just so that if you want to maybe follow something so that you get a better idea of what the University of Guelph is like, Snapchat is a really great option if that's something anyone has in here. There is a student that is in charge of running that account every day, and so they walk around campus, they'll go into the lecture halls, they'll show you what food that they're eating that day or the sport that they're about to go play, so it does give you that first-hand experience of what the life of a University of Guelph student is like without having to be in Guelph. Though Guelph is not far from here at all, maximum 45-minute drive. So if anybody has questions, we can definitely open up the floor to that. If you didn't receive a book, I have more, so you can just come visit me up here. I also have a sign-up book. So if anyone does want to do sign up for our mailing list, we'll let you know some information about upcoming events and open houses on campus. We do have an open house coming up next weekend on the 11th, where all of our facilities on campus will be available for you to walk through. You'll meet professors and you can also meet current students, so it's a really good opportunity. As I mentioned, feel free to come grab a book or sign up for something here, but I do appreciate you coming and coming to my presentation. I hope you have a great rest of your week.